Well, DOGE is looking into potential changes for U.S. Mint operations, so that's going to be big deal.
Yeah.
I'm rare coin expert Walt Durrell,
Industry veteran Ben Parker.
and we are the lovely coin guys from Texas. So, yeah, gold, silver still doing its thing. Well, not silver, but gold's really doing it.
Gold, we're seeing it a little bit down today. We're at 33.88. Earlier this morning, I mean, over 3,400. I had a couple people that I got the opportunity to, give them a little bit of insights. Hey, where are the market's at right now? And yeah, it's wild. We're getting, new projections coming out. Gold looks like it's going to be, I don't see it not being what I say earlier. I did my little price guessing, 4,700 something. I don't know, 3,700, I think.
3,700.
3,740
is pretty optimistic.
No, but 4 seems completely reasonable at this point.
It really does. You know what's interesting to me? So we're obviously, and if you're watching this, you're obviously involved in coins into a different level than most people.
Yeah.
But, there's that saying that you could take a $50 gold eagle to the local grocery store. Nobody's going to know what it is. And that's a true statement. So yesterday I went to lunch at the local bar and grill and sat at the bar to get what they call a power bowl. And there was 2 guys in there, and blue collar guys. And as I'm sitting there, I can hear one of the guys show the other guy his phone and say, "Look at this, silver to gold is 105 to 1." And that's very odd to hear.
In public,
in public. And they were discussing, the gold to silver ratio, which is completely just, something I never hear outside of people who really, come here, buy coins and stuff. So it's in the news. I mean, and everybody's thinking about it. Well, of course it's going to be in the news, gold at just, I get text messages all day long from friends, acquaintances and stuff. And like, man, you see gold this morning? No, I haven't seen it at all.
No, I haven't looked at it.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it at all. But yeah, to me, that was really interesting to see somebody, just 2 blue collar guys really talking about the gold to silver ratio. And I had this, I don't know if I said it last podcast, so I'll say it now, gold to silver ratio at 100 to 1 or 105 to 1, is high. It's dramatic. And I'm not saying like it needs to be 30 to 1 or something, but 80s and 80 to 1 is kind of where it normally at. So to me, one of 2 things has to happen. Silver either has to go up or gold has to come down. It will not be 100 to 105 for long.
Yeah, and I think we've both come to the consensus. We believe that silver is going to move up.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no evidence that gold's going to move down.
And it won't, I don't think it's going to be a sudden drastic change. So to say, here in recent history, we've seen as much as $1 difference in a day for silver. But even today, it's going to be small incremental changes like today where the gold's down a little bit, but silver's actually up. So it might just kind of, price in there.
So I don't know if you remember 2011. I don't think you were quite in the business in 2011, but we watched silver just kind of like what gold's been doing every day. Silver did that in 2011. So realistically, it can happen.
Yeah.
Goldman Sachs came out, their forecast, their $3,700 gold by the end of this year. And if certain things happen, they would not, it would not be uncommon to expect 4,500 gold is what they're projecting. So gold's getting expensive.
Yeah.
It really is. But the news of the day, this kind of shocked you when me and you talked about it.
Well, my jaw dropped.
Yeah, is that DOGE is looking to make some changes to U.S. Mint operations. And so when you say that, I think everybody's like, well, yeah, they're going to eliminate the penny. Nah, here's what's coming. Or I don't want to say it's coming, but here's what's
up for discussion.
Here's what the talks are. They've already cut 300 payroll jobs from the U.S. Mint. But they're talking about eliminating numismatic product sales from the U.S. Mint. If you're not aware what numismatic product sales are at the Mint, that is proof gold eagles, proof silver eagles, proof buffaloes, commemoratives.
The first thing that comes to my mind is, are we going to see a cancellation of this upcoming DC Comics?
Yeah, I mean,
that would be.
I don't think you could rule that out. Well,
It depends on if there's already been money put forth to create this.
and if there's a law.
Yeah, and realistically, has it gotten to the point where we might see 2025 they go through with a lot of the production that they expected, and then 2026 we see changes implemented? I think that's more likely. I don't know the whole process, but there's things that are in works before coins actually struck. At a certain point, you're gonna expect some loss if there's work being done to create the dies and do all that work. So
Listen, and I'm totally team Doge until this.
So this is interesting because, it's just like when people talk about a recession or anything going on, it's one thing if you hear about it and you don't necessarily feel it. But this is one of those instances where
It's now hitting home.
it's hitting our industry now.
So, but I get that. But here's my problem with it. The U.S. Mint is the largest coin dealer in the nation. They make money, especially on numismatic sales. Like you would be,
that's a good point.
gold buffaloes, proof gold buffaloes come out of the mint right now, probably $39.50. Right, the U.S. Mint's cost is production, planchet, and then the underlying gold price. I mean, they're buying planchets close to melt value. Fair. I mean, they have to be.
What your point, I guess, I'm getting is they're making money.
Correct.
So
and where does that money go, Ben? Where does the money that the U.S. Mint makes, where does it go?
Doesn't it go straight to the Treasury?
It goes to the Treasury to help pay off the debt. So to me, this is counterintuitive.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that's where I'm like, this is stupid.
It depends on what actually happens. Of course, this is making some headlines now, and the information's still coming out. But if they're targeting collector-type coins coming from the U.S. Mint, and those are income-producing items, what's it going to hurt to leave them alone?
Right. I mean, the U.S. Mint is self-sustainable.
They're more than self-sustainable. They're providing.
They're making money. So that's my. And again, nothing's happened there, and good luck getting any information out of the U.S. Mint. That's
to my knowledge, do they not report the revenue that the U.S. Mint makes? It's all reported, and you can go see charts of sales reports of how many of each individual item.
And look, I get the whole let's cut out the penny. It costs 3 cents to make a penny. Like I can get behind that. That's kind of like a financial sense thing. But like cutting out stuff that makes money seems counterintuitive.
Hopefully, it's meant as a direction toward currency itself, because the U.S. Mint does have to produce these products for everyday, commerce. So for us to have change to business, I get that. But if you're talking about proof gold eagles, this is how they're able to afford to make those pennies is these collector type items.
Yeah, and I'm just reading the article that was put out, and it's not much of an article. It's pretty small because there's nothing really known, or nothing's really happened yet. But there's a lot of gold commemorative coins, proof sets, mint sets, and I hate proof sets and mint sets, so like that wouldn't bother me at all. But again, what was mint selling for? $19.95. Yeah. They take normal coins that they it's got $1 something in face value, and they sell it for $19. Okay, whatever. And there's packaging involved with that. Yeah, I get it. But the U.S. Mint makes money, especially on numismatic product sales. Now, can it happen? It sure as hell happened in 2008.
Yeah.
Or actually 2009. Yeah. But it came in 2008. They're totally redid the numismatic product sales. They didn't have a proof silver eagle that year. They did away with so many of the collectible products and really focused on bullion and the Hattus. So it realistically could happen,
without a doubt. Yeah.
And short term for business for us would be great. Short term.
That's my sentiment as well. I believe very short term it could be well, but I don't know. My knee jerk reaction, I guess the reason why my jaw dropped is none of it really makes, to me, if someone were able to explain it, if it's income producing, if people want it, and this is a revenue that's going into the Treasury to counteract the whole purpose of DOGE doing this in the first place is to help with the national debt. Why would you? It doesn't make sense. So I don't know.
Yeah,
It's shocking to say the least.
It is, and there's a lot of products that I think that are very unpopular that the mint could get rid of that may not make money. Like Proof Silver Eagles, they're popular. Proof Gold Eagles, popular. Buffalo's popular. Maybe mint sets or not, and
maybe you could have an argument on some of those lesser
maybe these
demand items,
weird ass commemoratives that come out. I mean, nobody really cares about commemoratives. I mean, the product sales are like a couple thousand on a lot of them. You know, they've already restructured the burnish program. You know, they used to make all fractional sizes in the burnished Gold Eagles. Now,
do you think they use this opportunity to stop making the $50 burnished?
Could. I mean, that's
see, there's so I guess when we can say we see some items that could be on the chopping block closer to than, because I see Proof Gold Eagles. There really shouldn't be a way.
Proof, like our last episode was Proof Gold Eagles debut at the lowest sales numbers in history. Why? So you have $3,000 gold. You have $3,400 gold, and you know is expensive. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, it's expensive.
So I'm curious. Do they in the production for Proof Gold Eagles? They have a debut, obviously. So I wonder if they strike them in advance. And hopes that, you know, hey, we're going to be ready for shipment. You know, you want to get ahead of the curve, so to say.
They do strike in advance.
So if this is the lowest we've seen in a long time, do you think
there's a stockpile?
There might be. And they might be sitting on them. You know, I'd have to go check after we see.
What is the mint out of?
If gold goes up too, then what are they out?
The mint's not out of anything.
Well, maybe the labor costs and like you said.
But that's minor when you're when you have they have the machinery. I mean, all that stuff is minor. Gold's gone up, like you said. So, okay, gold's gone up. And so they're going to make money there. But even if gold didn't go up, their cost on the planchets are probably pretty close to melt.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, the production labor costs,
the boxes, the papers, everything, that would be less than the rise in gold, I would assume.
I would assume too.
Per each individual item.
And so we're going to clear a few things up too from last episode. So there was these talks about the Buffaloes, the U.S. Mint suspended sales of the bullion product of the Buffaloes. And it was amidst all the tariff stuff. And yes. So let's clarify a few things. Yes, we do know now, and I say we, I mean the industry, not me and Ben Parker.
Yeah.
The industry knows now that bullion products are exempt from all these tariffs. We do know that, you know, U.S. Gold Eagles and U.S. Buffaloes have to be locally sourced gold, like meaning from America. But those tariffs, or the threat of those tariffs, did affect something. Some, you know, the suppliers that supply the planchets to the
link
U.S.
in the chain somewhere.
Somewhere where it was like, let's stop and see where we're at first before. And then now U.S. Gold Buffaloes are back available straight from the mint for authorized purchasers. You know, the 13 of them that exist.
So more or less what happened was
a knee jerk reaction.
Yeah, just kind of, hey, let's
see.
Pause it for a moment.
It's kind of what seems like happened.
Yeah.
You know, people jump on the TikTok bandwagon and griping at us about, well, they have to be local. Yeah, but there is something that caused that pause, and it was something tariff related. Again, you guys don't get to deal with the mint. They're horrible to deal with as far as information. It is a bureaucracy just like anything else in the U.S. government, and nobody knows anything, and including the distributor. So this is what I was saying last week was strictly coming from multiple U.S. distributors' mouths.
It was live information, so it's going to update. It's going to change as time goes on.
And they're back available again. The quarter ounce Gold Eagle premiums are pretty high, and you know, I think they're just becoming more popular because of the price point,
affordability for sure.
Affordability, and for whatever reason, when people buy gold, right, they still feel like they've lost that $3,000, $4,000, $10,000. They feel like it's gone. So even though like you could literally buy 1 ounce Gold Eagles cheaper compared to the spot price than you have in almost any time in history. Just because when gold makes it eats up all the premiums. All the premiums are gone. I mean, '09 Ultra high relief premiums. It does this little lag. And people still are just like, it's $3,500.
We've talked about that before. So when there's a relatively sharp increase in the price of gold, there's a delay before some of the certified items that were more common before the change on that takes effect and they start to rise with it. Here's the thing though, is like we stop and we look at just in the recent history, the price has moved up enough that the delay for the move up before or the one even before that hasn't really fully taken effect for those. So it's interesting. We've got, I think, just off of where it is now, we've probably got another month before we really start seeing the prices change on certified items.
And here's what's going to happen. If gold prices hold $3,400, $3,500 for a year, you'll see those other product premiums start to, because people are more confident in the stability of it.
Yeah.
Right now you have people who are hesitant, and rightfully so. Hey, I don't want to buy $3,500 gold and wake up tomorrow and it's $2,900, or wake up 2 weeks from now and it's $2,900.
Yeah.
So that's that plays into effect. I mean, I just looked this morning. We got offered 1 ounce gold eagles from a U.S. Mint distributor, backdated at various dates, at like 1.9% over. I mean, premiums have gone away.
Yeah.
So, it's just it's unique times, and if DOGE comes in here and does this is going to be weird. It's going to be really weird, actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be a roller coaster, man.
Yeah. We should do something fun. We should say, if any of this happens, let's say a good question to ask is, will the penny cease to exist in the next 12 months? Yes or no?
No.
You don't think so?
I know. I think they have enough planchets to continue for longer than that.
So already created and done. So let's say 24 months, 2 years.
Possibly.
Okay. Let's.
So how would you do change? You just couldn't price anything at $24.99 anymore?
Some of that, but I think what other countries have had success doing is they will round up to the nearest tenth. So on some items, you actually get a little discount and you slightly overpay for others. So let's say if something's like $2.47, they would just make it $2.50. So you could still put whatever price you want there, but it's going to round up to one or down to the next lowest.
Gotcha. And as we consistently become a cashless society, that goes away.
Yeah.
That was really interesting. And if you go back and look at one of our earlier episodes when I had the chance to go have lunch with former U.S. Treasurer Ana Cabral, we talked about, that was one of the questions, are we going to move towards a cashless society? And she said, not in her lifetime, but definitely probably in my kid's lifetime. She said like 100%. So, I mean, she's a smart lady.
We might have to do an episode on that one day because they're definitely talking about digital currency. Start looking into, I think it's CBDC, something like that. We'll look into it further, but they've been planning a lot of this stuff for a while. Whether or not it makes sense to do it yet, we'll see. But
and it works because if you've been to an Houston Astros game, you know that everything is cashless.
Everything's
there. And I used to, and 5 years ago, you'd have to stop and go to the ATM because you wanted cash, because a lot of the places only, like, or a lot of the vendors, the beer vendors, they only wanted cash. And
see, I guess I don't want to say necessarily I'm old school in that way, but for me, cash was always king, and I guess it's not anymore. Well, I tell you this, you notice more, you go out to eat or do anything like that, on the menus now, they'll put listed at the bottom, they're having to charge for transactions with a card now.
Man, and I
certain
totally
minimums
understand. I mean, we've done that for years, especially with gold bullion. It's like, people don't understand. The people who are making money, the credit card companies make as much, if not more money than we do on the sale of a 1 ounce gold eagle. I mean, they make anywhere like 3.25% to 4%. American Express makes tons of money. And I went to a restaurant. There's a local restaurant around here, and they do a 4%, upcharge. And I see people griping on Facebook about a 4%. I'm like, your meal's $20.
Yeah.
And
what is it?
And I talked to the owner, and I was like, and he was pretty dumbfounded. He was like, man, this is cost. And I was like, I get it. I know what our merchant fees are every month. I mean, we're striking thousands upon thousands of dollars to these merchants every month. And I said, just make it a discount instead of an upcharge. Price everything based on credit card
Perspective,
and then offer a cash discount. But even then, just up your prices 4% across the board, or 5%, and nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah.
But if you break it down on that receipt, people talk. I mean, we've seen it. We used to charge $20 to ship products, right? Even though it costs $31 to $40 to ship, it was just something to help. People would gripe and gripe and gripe and gripe and gripe and gripe and gripe about $20. I'm like,
but if you stop and think about it, the shipping comes from somewhere. It just,
one of my favorite dealers of all time. He's been in this business a long time. His name is Ernest Palms. He'll never see this because he's old school. But he'd say he talks like with a grumble, and he would always say, "Walt, there's no such thing as free shipping. There's no cost shipping. There's no cost shipping to you, but it's costing somebody, and it's costing me." And I never forgot that, and that is true. Like, we advertise free shipping all the time, and it's not really free. We're paying it.
Nothing's free.
Nothing's free. So even that free Silver Eagle somebody throws in on something is not free.
Yeah. Except for the information on this podcast. That's free.
100% free, unless you're paying for YouTube Red or whatever it is.
Yeah, the special,
Well, that's all I've got for this week, Ben. It's been a busy week. It's continuing to get busier. Phones ring 6 times in my pocket. I'm sure I've got some people to call back.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, guys, until next week.